directly.
Of course, we have to consider we are watching it 15 years after,
Yes.
so we have a different kind of perspective. Back then, it would have had a different impact. I'm sure about that.
Welcome back, guys, to another trailer react. Today we're gonna do something different. We let Andre pick his favorite, and we're gonna react together on it. I don't know actually which one you picked.
So for today, we have the trailer of iRobot
iRobot
from 2004. Yeah.
Will Smith, and I instantly
Will
need
Smith.
to think of that great car. I know there's like this amazing car in that movie that just pops my brain.
Yeah, the super futuristic Audi that is there. Yeah, that everyone is, in print. It is imprinted in everyone's mind.
I'm actually curious. This is not super old, or at least it depends in what perspective you're seeing this. Relatively not old, but
Yeah.
I'm curious if this is already having a difference between kind of the trailers made nowadays, music-wise, but also kind of editing-wise.
Yeah,
curious.
I'm curious also to see because it's been a while, and I don't think I have actually ever seen the trailer. I remember seeing the movie and getting the DVD.
Why did you pick this movie and trailer in particular?
So it's funny because there is a story behind it. I can actually remember exactly going and picking up the DVD of this film. I was living outside in a small town in Italy back then, and this was, I guess, when I was 10 to 11 years old, so quite a while back. And there was this sort of vending machine where you could go, and with a card you charge money on the card, like an OV chip card that we have here in the Netherlands. But you would charge money, and then you had the screen, and you could pick the movie, and then it would come out like cash at the ATM, but you would have a box
Sounds
with the
very
DVD.
futuristic in some way.
Yeah, and this was before there was any illegal streaming or any download possibilities.
On Netflix.
So this was the only way, and I still remember going and picking this movie, and I think this is what added some value to it, where you actually had to go out and get the movie, pay money to see it, and then give it back after a week.
Interesting. Such how fast that kind of changed in the way we consume movies.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see that that was what you had to do, renting out a movie, but the movie is also about a future, about a near future, and I think it's way more actual now, this movie, than it was back then. Probably looking at it, we can relate to it way more, to what our present is looking like.
Yeah. Let's dive into it and then refer back to anything that we remember from watching this movie or even watching this trailer in the cinema.
Yeah, let's do it.
Boom.
We designed them to be trusted with our
The voice is back.
Yeah. The
with our way
voiceover.
of life,
Cool voice though.
Yeah.
with our world.
Oh man.
But did we
I love Will
design
Smith.
them?
Yeah, this movie was really like cool, badass kind of guy.
The rollout of USR's new generation of robot, the NS5, was marred by the death of designer Alfred Lanning.
Oh man, I know him from Babe, the movie with the pig.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's not a boss.
No way.
New trick for a robot. Respond.
Oh yeah, I
The
remember.
good old days. What good old days when people were killed by other people.
My robots don't kill people. That thing threw
All right.
somebody out
Yeah.
of the window. Is that registering with you?
A robot cannot harm a human being.
And you trust them if you want to.
Interesting how this action movie feels already somewhat dated, but the subject is very.
Actually, yeah, it's very current.
on the face of the earth make you crazy? Because if it does, maybe I am.
Maybe you can be looking in the shadows all the time.
Oh man, I have to rewatch this movie again.
Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to rewatch it,
Dr. Lanning
to refresh,
Thank you for
I was hoping to see you.
refreshing my brain on
refreshing
this
the
one.
memories.
Why didn't you just hand the world over on a silver
And
platter?
I think for 2004 it was really well made.
Yeah.
Of course, high budget, but for the time.
How many robots have ever committed a crime? How many robots in the world?
None.
There is no conspiracy. What this is
You see now conspiracy.
Conspiracy, yeah.
Now it's
a big
bigger than
topic. It's a big topic, yeah.
Oh man. I'm interested to see what CGI techniques they used back then and how they would do it now.
Now, yeah.
Doesn't quite say it.
Oh, nice. Boom.
I see you
I,
remain
Robot.
suspicious of me, Detective.
You know what they say about old dogs?
Not really.
That's such an American thing to do. That little comedy factor in the end.
Yeah. The quote, you know, that stays as a quote, you know, of the movie.
Interesting. So, when was this movie made?
It's 2004 was the release of the movie.
Interesting how fast things change because, sure, like if you listen, for example, to the music, yeah, there is like some more. Of course, the voice, which is, I don't think ever used anymore.
Yeah, in trailers you don't see that, but I like this narrative kind of very, you know, storytelling voice, but with that effect at the beginning, you know, that really puts you into context.
I think, yeah, so but in a way, I think it could come back as kind of like the same what happens with music. So you have all this kind of this 80s synthwave sound coming back. It's also kind of cool to refer back to like the narrator voice again, because you identified with this kind of time period which can actually work. So let's say they do a Stranger Things trailer and they use the voice again, that could actually fit again.
Yeah, and I think probably that's why it would be super interesting to see at a 2022 iRobot trailer to really compare the two things. But these small elements, I think they're gonna be implemented in more current trailers. The voiceover, the narration. And I like also how it's done in almost like flashes, you know, it gives you glimpses when you see you see the silhouette, you know, the fade out in and out with the vignette around it. It's not straight cuts, but it really is fragments put together.
Do you think because we have already seen the movie, like I have to remember it correctly, like it's been a long time that I've watched it, but how do you think the trailer served as kind of does it give away too much, or was it actually good?
I think the trailer says a lot about the movie, so it's way more revealing than a more modern trailer, I would say, compared to other trailer reacts or trailers that we've seen. I think it's quite revealing, so it's giving a lot, but it's because it's not easy to understand it, you know, with too little information to really give you an idea of what's going to happen, what's going on. You need to give a little bit more, I think. In this case, where it was a topic which was really new back then and difficult to really, you know, dive into.
I think in the heart of it is the Isaac Asimov rules, the 3 rules for artificial intelligence, that they couldn't really harm people, and then the second rule can't reflect or can't interfere with the first rule, and the third rule can't interfere with the first and second rule, which is very interesting. I think the heart of it was kind of based on that, right? Where is an artificial intelligence, is a robot, can it actually be human? And how would a future like that look like?
Yeah, and it's super interesting because I think that this movie was an attempt actually to bring these ideas and these thoughts out to a bigger public, not a public who's necessarily, you know, researching and studying these topics, but to bring it out in an entertainment package and also have a fun story on the side, but really at the depth, at the core, display these kind of ideas and propose them to a public. At that time was really the core of this movie, the idea behind it.
No, I think that's great. It's also what I say with Christopher Nolan, for example, bringing movies sometimes quite complex, also making a nice action movie that it can speak to more people and a wider audience, even if the concept sometimes is quite difficult. And it's also with iRobot, it can be a complex story, but then when you have Will Smith, you have the action, still people that don't get it directly, they also enjoy the movie and the entertainment that it brings.
Yeah,
and I really like that.
Yeah, I think that's important to make it also an enjoyable movie to watch and sit in the cinema and watch it, and not necessarily because every movie has deeper, you know, layers that you can really explore. But at the end, you know, it's also about having a fun experience, a fun moment, and just enjoying a good movie.
Yeah, I always like Will Smith. It's and I think back at that time, like he was really on the peak
of his career. Yeah, at that time, I remember even with the movies he was doing at the time, it was really a peak moment for him, and
I know, like,
great acting as well.
He was always running, so I know like Enemy of the State as well, and yeah, this movie, and in my head, he was always running in these movies, running fast.
He was doing a lot of action. I think then it was also Bad Boys around that time.
Yeah.
You know, that was also a really fun movie to watch. But yeah, it was in those really action-packed. Every few minutes there's something going on.
Then again, like to refer back to the music, I think it actually works at the time. And sure, if you would do the trailer now, it would definitely sound differently and differently. I think it will be more of a sound design heavy thing. Of course, the mechanical things, the technology should be there. Although I didn't really dislike it. I think it was really, it served the purpose, and especially at that time.
Yeah, I think the music was really well made, and specifically looking at the trailer, it's engaging. It's nice to watch.
Somewhat traditional again.
Yeah, as we said, it's traditional. It really fits the bill, and it's nothing extraordinary, but also it really complements with the images.
Maybe actually it wasn't traditional back then.
Back then, yeah.
I don't know it anymore. If it was like completely different from the rest of the trailers directly.
Of course, we have to consider we are watching it 15 years after,
Yes.
so we have a different kind of perspective. Back then, it would have had a different impact. I'm sure about that.
But I find it interesting that you can already hear differences. So I don't find it like too like dated, like that it's like too way back, like where it's like 50 years back. It's not that far away, and you can already hear that it's such a big world of a difference in how we edit trailers, if you use a voiceover, or how the music is being portrayed. It's interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't feel it's very outdated. Like if we don't associate any year or any time stamp to it, I think it could be, a movie 5 years old as well, or a trailer 5 years old. Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch this again. Always love Will Smith, and I'm curious if this holds up. And of course, like the cool car and the thing. Actually, I think was it Porsche that made like an electric vehicle? It kind of looks exactly like the one in iRobot.
Like the one in iRobot.
Only there was an Audi, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
Yeah, I think it's the one that the closest car that I could associate was the i8, the BMW, which really looks like this car.
Everybody stole that.
But everyone is stealing. They use that concept as a concept car.
Oh man, it's cool. I'm gonna rewatch it. I think that's it for this trailer react. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure if you like this to subscribe and support us. Give it a thumbs up if you like, and we'll come back with another trailer react, classic ones, and also one of our favorite ones to react on.